The rule of capital velocity, why Elon Musk never lets a dollar sleep. The world watches Elon Musk for his rockets and electric cars, but the real engine behind his empire isn't just engineering, it's a radical, often misunderstood approach to money. While traditional financial advisors preach the gospel of safe, diversification and steady retirement accounts, Musk operates on a principle that defies every standard rule of wealth management. In early 2026, as his net worth fluctuates by billions based on the latest AI breakthrough or geopolitical shift, one thing remains constant: Musk does not save money, the cash poor multi-billionaire. To understand Musk's money rule, you have to look at the legendary story of the 2008 financial crisis. After selling PayPal, Musk walked away with roughly $180 million. Most people would have put $170 million in a diversified index fund and used the rest to buy a private island. Musk did the opposite. He poured every cent into Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity. He famously had to borrow money from friends just to pay rent because he was all in. This is the core of the rule of capital velocity. Money is not a trophy to be stored, it is fuel to be burned. In Musk's world, a dollar sitting in a bank account is a wasted opportunity. He views wealth through the lens of first principles. If you ask a banker what to do with money, they'll suggest a 5% return in a safe bond. Musk asks, what is the most fundamental way this capital can accelerate the future? For him, that means zero diversification. He keeps nearly 100% of his wealth in the companies he controls. The one basket philosophy. He famously refutes the old proverb about eggs. He believes it's perfectly fine to put all your eggs in one basket, so long as you are the one holding the handle and controlling exactly what happens to that basket. Mission-driven allocation. Every dollar is assigned a job. It isn't there to buy a comfortable retirement, a concept Musk recently called irrelevant in an age of AI abundance. Instead, money is a tool for a specific mission, whether that's making life multiplanetary or solving sustainable energy. While the rest of the world is taught to fear risk, Musk's first money rule is that the greatest risk is standing still. By keeping his capital in constant motion, he ensures that his wealth isn't just growing, it's transforming the world around him. But how does he manage the crushing pressure of having his entire fortune on the line every single day? Where we dive into his risk reasoning framework and how he handles the abyss of debt to the abyss of death and the logic of total risk. Most people view financial risk as a spectrum: low, medium, or high. For Elon Musk, risk is binary. Either you are doing something that changes the world, or you are wasting your time. This leads to the second layer of his money rule: calculated recklessness. In the early days of Tesla and SpaceX, Musk faced what he calls the abyss of death. By late 2008, both companies were on the verge of bankruptcy. SpaceX had suffered 3 consecutive launch failures, and Tesla was hemorrhaging cash. Musk was faced with a choice that would make any financial planner scream: split his remaining $40 million between the two companies, likely killing both, or pick one to save. Instead, he chose a third option: he bet it all again. The logic of skin in the game. Musk's rule dictates that if you aren't willing to lose everything, you don't deserve the massive upside. This isn't just bravado, it's a specific psychological tactic. Extreme ownership. By putting his last dollar into his ventures, he signaled to investors and employees that failure was not an option. If the ship sank, the captain was guaranteed to go down with it. The safety net delusion. Musk believes that having a plan B or a large cash reserve actually makes you more likely to fail because it reduces your intensity. When your survival depends on a project succeeding, you find solutions that comfortable people miss. Probabilistic thinking. He doesn't bet on a sure thing. He famously gave SpaceX and Tesla a 10% chance of success at the start. His rule isn't about being certain you'll win, it's about the conviction that the goal is worth the risk of losing everything. Why it works in 2026. Even now, with a portfolio that spans from brain-computer interfaces Neuralink to humanoid robots Optimus, Musk refuses to de-risk. While other billionaires buy professional sports teams or massive real estate portfolios to park their wealth, Musk recently sold almost all of his physical possessions, including his mansions. He realized that possessions are vectors of distraction. By stripping away the fluff, he keeps his financial life as lean as a startup, ensuring that 99% of his net worth remains active in the pursuit of his goals. To Musk, money is a scorecard for how much value you can reinvest, not a cushion to sit on. Investing, and how he ignores market trends to build things the world didn't know, the physics of finance, reasoning from first principles. In early 2026, while Wall Street analysts are obsessing over quarterly earnings and market moods, Musk's money rule remains anchored in a concept he borrowed from the laboratory, first principles thinking. Most investors use analogy. They look at what worked in the past and try to do it 10% better. They see a successful car company and try to build a slightly cheaper car. Musk sees this as a financial trap. His rule is to ignore the market price of an idea and look at the physics price. Breaking down the cost of impossible. When Musk started SpaceX, he was told a rocket cost $65 million. Most people would have tried to negotiate that down to $60 million. Musk applied first principles. The question: what is a rocket made of? The reality: aerospace-grade aluminum alloys, titanium, copper, and carbon fiber. The breakthrough: he calculated the raw material cost of those components. It turned out to be only 2% of the total rocket price. His money rule is: if the raw materials cost $2 and the finished product costs $100, the problem isn't the material, it's the process. This realization is why he doesn't just invest in industries, he reconstructs them from the atomic level up. In 2026, he is applying this exact same logic to humanoid robots Optimus and artificial intelligence XAI. The cost as a vector rule. For Musk, every dollar spent must be a vector. It needs both magnitude, how much is spent, and direction, where it moves the needle. The anti-portfolio: Musk doesn't own stocks. He owns machines. He views his wealth as a collection of physical assets and intellectual property that solves a fundamental equation. The 2026 shift. Recently, Musk has shifted his focus to what he calls the age of abundance. He argues that if you solve the cost of intelligence, AI, and the cost of labor, robotics, the traditional rules of money, inflation, scarcity, and savings completely break down. Why he ignores experts. Musk's rule is to never listen to someone whose salary depends on them not understanding his vision. Bankers and wealth managers make money by keeping your capital safe and diversified. Musk views that safety as a slow leak in a boat. By the time the world realizes a new technology is the future, the first principles investor has already captured 99% of the value. To Musk, money is simply data in a global accounting system. His goal isn't to accumulate more data points, but to use that data to change the physical reality of the human race. The asset-light paradox: why the world's richest man owns nothing. In a world where net worth is usually measured by the size of one's real estate portfolio and the length of one's yacht, Elon Musk follows a rule that borders on the ascetic: possessions are attack vectors. By early 2026, Musk has doubled down on a promise he made years ago, to own no house. While he could easily afford a palace in every time zone, he famously sold off his $100 million California real estate portfolio and moved into a $50,000 prefabricated tiny home in Boca Chica, Texas. The psychology of zero drag. Musk's fourth money rule is rooted in engineering. In rocketry, every extra gram of weight requires more fuel. He applies this same mass efficiency to his life. Mental bandwidth. Musk views large estates, staff, and maintenance as a drain on cognitive energy. If I spend an hour deciding on the furniture for a mansion, he once noted, that's an hour I didn't spend on the Starship heat shield. Eliminating the target. He publicly stated that possessions give his critics a way to attack him. By stripping away the luxury, he forces the conversation back to the work. It's hard to call someone a greedy billionaire when they sleep on a friend's couch or in a 400-square-foot box. The Martian Fund. Musk views his personal wealth as a temporary storage of energy for the colonization of Mars. For him, Spending $50 million on a house isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's $50 million that isn't building a city on another planet. Wealth is a liquid utility. To Musk, money is not wealth, in the traditional sense, it is liquid utility. Most people want to arrive at a point of luxury and stay there. Musk's rule is that you should never arrive. You should always be in transit toward a higher goal. In the current 2026 landscape, where inflation and market volatility have made hard assets, like real estate, the standard advice, Musk's refusal to hold them is a radical statement. He isn't betting on the value of land in Malibu, he is betting on the value of human ingenuity. He keeps his capital in the form of company stock because that stock represents the ability to do things, whereas a mansion is just a place where things sit still. The lesson for the rest of us: you don't have to sell your house to follow this rule. The Elon rule here is about decreasing your personal drag. It's a challenge to look at everything you own and ask, is this helping me move faster toward my goal, or is it just something I have to take care of? Musk has realized that in the 21st century, the most valuable asset isn't what you own, it's how fast you can pivot. And you can't pivot if you're anchored by gold-plated chains. The time value of innovation, using money to buy the impossible. In standard finance, we are taught the time value of money, the idea that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow because of interest. Elon Musk flips this on its head. He follows a rule of the money value of time. By 2026, Musk's companies have achieved what many called unrealistic deadlines. He doesn't use his billions to buy luxury, he uses them to buy speed. In Musk's economy, the most expensive thing in the universe isn't a diamond or a supercar, it's a wasted week. The high burn strategy. Musk's money rule dictates that it is better to waste money to save time than to waste time to save money. This manifests in several radical ways. Vertical integration. Most companies outsource parts to the lowest bidder to save cash. Musk's rule is to build everything in-house, from the seats in a Tesla to the valves in a Raptor engine. It's more expensive up front, but it eliminates the time tax of waiting on a third-party supplier. Prototyping through failure. While traditional aerospace companies spend years on perfect simulations to avoid losing an expensive prototype, Musk builds 10 rockets and blows them up. To a traditional CFO, that's $1 billion lost. To Musk, that's $1 billion spent to gain 3 years of data. The 24/7 economy. Musk's capital is used to keep factories running 3 shifts, 24 hours a day. He realizes that a factory sitting idle at 3 a.m. is a form of interest, being paid to time itself. Eliminating the decision tax. In early 2026, Musk's management style has become even more lean. He believes that bureaucracy is a financial drain. Every layer of management is a tax on the speed of a dollar's impact. His rule is simple: if a meeting doesn't result in a decision that accelerates the mission, that meeting cost the company thousands of dollars in momentum loss. He would rather spend $10 million on a risky engineering shortcut than $1 million on a safe, 3-year study. The speed of iteration. The Musk rule states that your success is directly proportional to how many iterations you can afford. If you have $1 billion and each test costs $100 million, you have 10 chances to get it right. If you can use first principles to drop the cost of a test to $10 million, you now have 100 chances. By driving down the cost of failure, Musk has effectively bought more chances at success than any of his competitors. He doesn't have a better crystal ball, he just has a faster treadmill. The conclusion. The legacy of the mission. What happens when the rule wins? The singularity of wealth. Why the rule wins. Conclusion. As we stand in late January 2026, Elon Musk's net worth has done something no financial textbook ever predicted. With a personal fortune surging past $700 billion, he is no longer just the world's richest man, he is a one-man economic superpower. But the final part of his money rule reveals the most shocking truth of all: he is trying to make money obsolete. The era of radical abundance. At the World Economic Forum in Davos just days ago, Musk outlined his vision for the age of abundance. His rule dictates that if you successfully apply capital to solve the cost of labor, through humanoid Optimus robots, and the cost of intelligence, through XAI, the very foundation of the global economy changes. The death of scarcity. Musk argues that in a world where robots do the work and AI provides the expertise, the standard of living will skyrocket while the cost of living drops toward zero. The trillionaire paradox. While critics debate his unprecedented trillion-dollar pay packages, Musk views these numbers as irrelevant, accounting data. To him, $1 trillion isn't for buying gold, it's the budget for building the first city on Mars, a project he confirmed is entering its practical implementation phase this year. The light of consciousness. The ultimate goal of Musk's money rule, the capital velocity, is not accumulation but preservation. He views his wealth as a battery meant to keep the light of consciousness burning. Every dollar redirected from a yacht to a Starship heat shield is, in his mind, an insurance policy for the human race. In 2026, he famously stated that life should be more than just solving one miserable problem after another. His rule suggests that money's highest purpose is to create things that make people excited to wake up in the morning, whether that's an electric car that feels like a spaceship or the prospect of becoming a multi-planetary species. Your takeaway. The Musk mindset. You don't need $1 billion to follow the one money rule. You simply need to change how you view your resources. Musk's legacy isn't the number in his bank account. It's the proof that conviction is the ultimate currency. Stop treating money as a safety net. Start treating it as a tool for your specific mission. Focus on speed, iteration, and first principles, rather than following the crowd. As the 2026 IPO of SpaceX looms and the first commercial Neuralink devices hit the market, the world is learning what happens when one person refuses to let a single dollar sleep. The rule didn't just make him rich, it's rewriting the future of our species.